Okay, years ago, I had a student, Andy Shepis, who literally, well, I had students at that point, would literally spend the weekend up here. They'd come up here on Thursday night, and they'd literally spend the entire weekend, or come out on Friday night. They would order pizzas and everything. Andy came to me one day, he'd done this stuff, and I think I might have already told y'all, but I missed a word they needed, so they couldn't have done it. He said, I've been working on this for days, and I did all this. I'm like, wow, you tried all this stuff. So he learned a lot by me screwing up. Now, and actually the next couple of semesters I did that as well, on purpose though. But what I told people is, hey, if you spend some time on it, send me some proof you've been working on it, and then I send them what they needed. I haven't done that in quite a few years because what happens if, Josh emails me and I don't get there for 4 days? That's pretty cool. That's going to suck.
The hidden text file.
Yeah. All right. And the hidden text file, and when you guys email me, it's not always, but a lot of times it's easier if you email from D2L. That way it tells you which class you're in. Because that's so many times, especially, I have a question on the quiz, or a question on quiz number 2, or question 5. Okay, what class is this? I mean,
There's a lot of questions.
Yeah, I sent you an email from Yahoo one time because I didn't know that's what was sunk to my computer. I just didn't send an email, but then I saw it. I was like, "No, sorry about that."
So that was just a real quick demo. We're going to learn more about that tonight. Actually, we're going to learn about it right now. All right, let's talk about a couple of different things first. Okay, let's talk about salt. Okay. Okay. Now we have iodized salts. No, salt. What salt is? Okay, salt allows it makes it tougher to break passwords. Is what we want. We want it to be harder. We want to make so salt allows us to do that. So it says a white crystalline substance. No, it's not that. Salt is a random data that can be added to the hash of a file, so you can make it harder to break. Okay, because we've talked about rainbow tables before. I think at one point. Did I talk about rainbow tables?
Conversation.
Yeah, rainbow tables. Imagine me going through this keyboard and storing the cryptographic hash of every key combination. So maybe if your password is just the letter A, so I make the hash of A, then the hash of E, then C, then AA, then A123. Every combination you could. I'm storing all those hashes because when we're trying to break passwords, like we're going to do in this project, what we're having to do is take a word, manipulate the word, and then calculate the hash. So there's a couple steps there. If that whole take the word, manipulate the word, and calculate the hash was already done, it's just a comparison. So think of it if you're in calculus. What's easier, to compare an answer or actually do the project and then compare the answer? Basically a rainbow table is all those calculations already done. But by adding salt, we're making it exponentially harder. We're adding so much more stuff to it by doing that, okay? So here's Roy, if we use MD5, okay? We all know what MD5 is now, okay? So it comes, every single time I run it, it becomes that, okay? Now, here's the rainbow table. Where's my mouse? There's my mouse. I don't remember what this link goes to. So hopefully it still goes somewhere it's supposed to. Sometimes I don't go in there. Okay, so I could put in that hash. This hash, right? No, it's going to let me. Anyway, let's go back one. This hash right here. It's going to let me. It just doesn't know he's going to let me. So I can put that in there. And I can reverse this hash, and it tells me what. Because what it is, this website, when I created it 2 years ago, it stored the hash of Roy. So it did not do any calculations. It did a look at, oh, this hash is Roy. Very quick, okay? But if we use salt, here's what Roy as the salt is added to this and becomes this. So remember, that was Roy, starts with CDB. Now we added salt, the word Roy, we use rose as the word of our salt. So you see it changed it, okay? Now if we add the word state to Roy, it becomes this. So what we're doing is we're just making it more difficult. Think of it, your password, instead of puppy is now Rose puppy or state puppy. It's making it much more difficult. Okay. That's what salt does for us. There's a very good article here. I'm not going to read it. It's very good. You can look at it if you want. Generate a long random salt. Okay. Prepend it to your password, which we did. We actually have a Python script to generate all these ones we're going to be using today. What?
Is there a rainbow table for salt?
No. Because remember, you'd have to have a rainbow table of all the salts, and then, but really it's the salt with each password. So if the password was password, you would need a rainbow table of every salt combination with password.
That would take a while.
Yeah, and that's just one word. Okay. So prepend it to it, then calculate it, then store the salt and the hash together. Then it says hash, then compare stored salt and enter it, and it validates your login. So it really helps. Okay. Very short. Go ahead.
We get the hash of Rose puppies,
Yes.
and say we manage to break it, we still wouldn't have their actual password because we don't know what their.
No, you would. It would. It's just, it just makes it harder. That's all it is. Because normally you're going to break the word puppies, but now you have to break a longer word instead of just puppies. It's
So
Rose
instead of taking
puppies.
5 minutes, it took 10 minutes because you had that salt in front of
Right. We have some random stuff. Imagine anytime you create a password from now on, add a 5-digit random word at the beginning of it. That password becomes much harder, first of all, to remember, but also break. Okay. So you know how a lot of people use the same password on multiple websites? Well, with salt, you're using the same password, but use different salt on each one. So it's technically, even if puppy was your password, you would have, you know, fuzzy puppy, blue puppy, red puppy, you know, kill the puppy, you know, that kind of stuff. So, you know, all right. All right. So that's just a real quick information on that. Now, I modified our classroom multiple times today. I don't know if y'all noticed. Y'all get notifications whenever I add stuff?
Yeah. Yeah. I get text messages all day. It makes me feel special.
So I don't know what y'all get. I don't see what you get. So in our class here, I added, under software needed, I put Kali Linux, I put the VMware images. So you can download those and actually use them. They're already built, they're already ready. There's Kali Linux plus Kali Linux Lite. The difference is the Lite doesn't have all the programs installed. Now you can install them. It's just a more compressed version that is really just bare bones.
Link to the cyber club meeting.
What?
You might link the cyber club meeting over there and I set it up.
Oh. Yeah, but actually these you just save and run them. That's it. And I'm going to show you. I got one on this machine right here.
Oh.
These are already all configured. They are literally totally done for you. These are 7-zip files. Just unzip them and run them.
Oh, okay. You don't even need them.
Well, you need VMware Player, but you don't have to install them. Now, I went and installed VMware Player. Okay. Then inside of Player, you can go File Open. Okay, Open, and mine just happens to be right there, which I've already clicked on before, hence it's already right there. So you unzip it, go into the folder, click on it, and now you have a Kali Linux machine. Should come right up. Okay. So if you notice, I haven't given you all a vSphere machine yet. Some of you might still have an old one, but I haven't given you one. Because the point is, if I give you a vSphere machine, at the end of the class, I delete it. This way, you guys have to get a Kali machine running. You can use it, and you're like, hey, I know how to do that. I can make one on my own. I'm an adult now. So that kind of stuff. Okay. And plus, those of you who can't run, like John the Ripper, wow. If she tried to run John the Ripper at school, oh no, it would literally explode. Because it's what's called an exploitation tool. It's a privilege escalation tool because it breaks passwords. You really think the network administrator at Rose State wants me to run a password breaking tool on the network?
Yes.
No. So what we can do is run inside a virtual machine. So you can even turn off the network card. So you don't have to worry about it. So, all right. So I'm going to log in here. All right. and it's up and running. Yes. All right. So, I mean, it's that easy. So download VMware Player. It's free. If you want, I can put a copy up there, but it's up and running. So very simple to use. Okay. Pre-configured. Everything you need is inside there. Okay.
Put just the Kali Linux image on there, just in case.
I did put one up there.
I mean, no, you did.
Yeah, there's two of them. They're right there. Right there. VM image right there.
All right.
Yeah, you download that file, unzip it into a folder, and then VMware Player, just run it. Just like I did. That's what I did here. I put it on there and just opened it up. I just did it right before class to make sure it worked. Okay. All right, now let's talk about John the Ripper. John the Ripper is probably the most popular password breaking tool out there. Hence, StegBreak uses it. Lots of other programs use it. Okay. All right, don't show me this again. So let's talk about this. I'm not going to run this full screen because I want you to be able to, I'm going to have to switch back and forth. Now, I'm going to tell you up front, there's a Windows version of this as well. You are totally free to use it. You will not break all the passwords with it. It won't work. Positively guarantee you, because there's some of the passwords that I put in there need a special setting that Windows doesn't support. So if you want to do Windows, this is a random listing of which passwords you're going to get. There's at least one you won't get. You could get 2 or 3. So I guarantee you there's one that Windows will not break. Depending on which ones you all get, there's at least one. You could have up to 3. So, and the one you're not going to get is worth 11 points. So there you go. You got an 89 if you broke everything else.
There's a possible extra credit one as well.
All right, that's 25%, which I'll show you that here in a minute. So if you're running on Windows and break everything except for the one you won't be able to, you're going to get an 89. Okay. If you're happy with that, go with Windows. I'm going to show you how to use it in Kali. Okay. All right. Now it's actually not stored there anymore. I just didn't change the slides. Okay. But I'll show you what it is. The way we run it is this, and I'm going to show you a demo. I'm going to walk through tons of demos. Okay. I'll show you how all these commands work and what they do and all this stuff. But pretty much that's the Windows command right there at the bottom. And the Linux is similar, except you get rid of the 386. That's really the only difference. Okay. With John, you can, now in Linux, it's john.conf. In Windows, it's john.ini. You can manipulate it. Kind of like I was just manipulating that file I showed you all for StegBreak. You're going to have to do that for John the Ripper. Okay. So let's talk about how some of these work. Okay. I'm going to bring up John the Ripper. And I need a password hash. I don't have a demo one. How handy is that? Well, okay, I know what we'll do. Okay. Yeah, I think I deleted all these before I put them up here. Yep, I deleted them all. Isn't that nice of me? I don't want to give you guys the answers. All right, I'm going to bring up John the Ripper. Now, you run it at the command line. There's not a GUI. Those of you who hate command line, sorry. Go here, and if you type John, it'll actually show you the commands for John. I literally just typed John. That's all I did. I typed JOHN, and it shows you the commands. Okay. Now, my files I'm using are on my desktop. See them all right here? Okay. So I can do ls, which is just like dir. ls stands for list in Linux. Now, you can edit them over here very easily, just on the desktop. But I did ls. I'm going to change directories into desktop. It didn't work. They don't know why.
Capital C. It's the C drive. No.
It's capital D. This is Linux. It's case sensitive. So, all right. So now what I need to do is I need to come up with a command to use. But first thing, there's a file under the class for this project. It's called Wordless Complete. And this is it right there. Every password you need is in this list. Aren't you excited? And there is...
Whoa, what was that? There's a bunch of U's.
Oh, yeah, there's a bunch of weird junk in here. What we did was, 2 years ago, I taught you how to use a program called Cool. C-E-W-L. Where you would actually go and generate word lists. You could actually scrape a website. In other words, you could scan Rotate's website to capture every email address or every word. Well, I had to use cool to get this word list from a website called vocabula.com. Well, they're offline. And I don't know where they moved the file to. And I built it based on this file, so I don't want to. I'm just giving you the file now. So there's one little step you're missing. But if you ever want to play, it's called Cool, C-E-W-L. It'll allow you to just pull data off the website. Okay? I didn't want to have to make all this with new words when I knew this one worked. So there's basically 7,607 words, or 708 words. So that's the file you're going to use. Okay? Now, just like our thingy showed right there, I'm going to run this command right here. Okay? Close to that command. I'm going to type, I'm trying to get this all on the same screen. I'm not going to, am I? What if I bring this down? Okay. It's John, and then -- word list. Word list equals, mine is called word list, word, L-I-S-T, complete. Okay. Then we need, this is hard to do on the same screen here. Oh, where am I? Oh, it's on this, oh, that's right here. Then I need -- rules. Okay. -- rules. Okay. It's much easier in my office. I have this on 3 monitors. I can do one here and one there and one there. What this is telling you is run John the Ripper in word list mode using this word list, process the rules, and put the output to the screen so you guys can see it. Okay? So I'm going to do that, and it says there's no word list mode rules. Okay? The reason is I deleted them all because I don't want to give you guys any answers. Okay? Well, now let's talk about some of the different rules. The rules are right here. This is a rule, a substitution rule. You have 10 of these to do. Okay? They're very simple. You have to break 10 passwords with a single substitution. Okay? There's actually 20 of them. You're going to break half of them. This is all random stuff. So now, the way this reads is substitute a D with an F. So the word dog becomes the word fog. Can I see that? Make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so the word is dog. I'm running a substitution rule to substitute D with an F, so dog becomes fog. So if my dictionary had the word dog in it and your password was fog, I would have broken your password. See how that works? Let me show you the demo here now. So we have to edit our configuration file. Now, if you go in here, and I happen to have it in recent places because I've been there already, it's right there, but it's actually under etc. If you click on other locations, go to computer, go to etc., then it's in a folder called John. J-H-I-J-J-J, John. Okay, and we want to edit john.conf. Okay, I'm going to right-hand click and say open it with a text editor. Now, if you were in Bill Richards' class, he'd tell you to use VI, but we're not doing it there. Now, you need to edit the word list section. Okay, now it happens to be about 600 lines down. You can, there's a find. There's a, hold on, it's one of these options. Text editor. What now?
Yeah, it says what line you're on.
I know, I mean, I'm trying to tell you how to find it. There's a find option in here somewhere. Does it control F? Hey, control F works fine, good. Okay, well, this is what you're looking for. And I actually put this exact statement inside the assignment so you'll be able to find it exactly. Okay. When I get to the assignment, I'll show you. I put exactly what you need to find. Well, this is where you need to put it. See all this stuff below here? Look familiar?
Yeah.
Looks like this stuff from Steg Break. Now, I will tell you, I comment all this out. It does not come that way. It comes not commented out. So if you do not comment it out, it'll actually break some of them when you're doing absolutely nothing. So you can probably get about half the passwords with you doing nothing. But it's the second half that's tough. Okay. I comment them out because I want to know what it's doing. Because some of these rules, I mean, if you look at some of these are crazy.
Let's see.
You know, prefix pre-alphabetic words with the one, you know, so I comment them out. So let's use that rule we just saw. It was substitute DF, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to save this. Now I'm going to, I wish I could have all this on the same. Go back here. I'm going to run it again. Now it actually ran. Now the problem is, okay, see right here, accidentally? What happened accidentally?
Accidentally.
So what it did is it went through the entire dictionary and replaced every D with an F. Okay? Now, I'm running the command with std out at the end. See that? What that means is run John, using your word list, process the rules, and I'll put it to the screen. So we can see what it's doing. But when you guys are running it, what you're going to do is you're going to replace this with whatever your passwords file is called. Okay, the one on my desktop happens to be called passwd because that's what it's called in a Linux system. Okay, we're going to have to get one here real quick. I'm going to make one right now, actually. I'm going to make one, and I'm going to use, we're going to open up the assignment real quick. And I'll explain more about the assignment, but I just need a file out of it so we can do a demo here. Get out of here, all you stuff. Okay. All right, give me a number. What number you want between 1 and 20?
24. 19.
I heard 24. I said 1 and 20.
That's why I said 19.
Let's go with 24.
Okay. I'm going to copy that. Now I'm going to go over here into my John the Ripper file. And on my desktop, I have that passwd file. And I'm going to put that password hash in here. Now, the way this is written is this is the password number at the beginning, pass 19, then a colon. This first part, this $L or 1, whatever, that's the salt. Some of them will be longer than others. Some of them are very long. Then after that is the actual hash. Okay? So I'm going to save this. The problem is I don't know what password 19 is. So this might take a while. Let's see. Now I'm going to go back, run it again. But this time I'm going to type passwd. So you see it says loaded 1 password hash. Everybody see that? So what it did was it took that hash from that file, loaded it in the memory, then it made all these rules and tried to find the rule that broke it. Our rule didn't work. And I need one that'll work. But we're going to try, but you guys give me some examples. What do you think? What?
Does it tell you that it didn't work on you?
Yeah, it would have told you if it broke. It would have popped up and said broke. Give me some more substitute. What can I substitute?
W's.
No. Come on.
M's with W's.
What can I replace an A with?
An E.
An at sign.
A with an at sign. Okay, something else.
S with a
Dollar sign.
E with a 3.
He's like, why are you using my words? Come on, give me some more.
O with 0.
I don't want to say anything.
O.
Zero.
O with 0. Oops, 0.
Yeah.
Substitute T.
E.
E with a what?
E was I don't know.
How about an uppercase E?
There you go.
How about, what can we replace an L with? Okay, or with an explanation, or how about a pipe symbol?
Capital I.
Oh,
Wow, we got a bunch for L.
that is.
How about a lowercase I?
That's good.
Let's see if any of these break it. I don't know what the answer is. So the odds are sooner or later we're going to get one. Whoa, we got it.
Roommate.
See that in the middle?
Roommate.
Password 19 is roommate.
Oh, the zeros got it.
Everybody see that? See how it worked? So what it did is it went through our file here and it tried to deal with that, nothing. And finally got down to this O with a 0 and it broke it. Now, I'm gonna run this again. What happened?
No password hashes left to correct.
Okay. It's not working. Why is it not doing it?
It's already broke.
It's already done?
I wanna do
In
it again.
case you're not changing the zeros.
Yeah, the zeros are already
Because you
set.
said it loaded the hash. It says you say it loads the hash.
So it loaded one right here. Loaded one password hash. No password hashes left to crack. But then which one did it break?
The only one
How do you know that? It's not on there. Okay, my point is, when it breaks it, it stores it in something called a pot file, john.pot, which is like a golden dictionary. Ooh. Now, it happens to be located down one directory and into a hidden directory. Happens to be down a directory. So I did cd ... which brought me down a directory. Then I did cd space .john, it's the hidden directory. Then you can see it, it's right there. There's john.pot. So if I do cat john.pot, stands for concatenate. Oh, there it is. There's the hash for roommate. Okay. The reason it does this is like, dude, I've already done it. Why do it again? And the cool thing is, like that website, when I put Roy up there, it just stores it. So imagine you're breaking passwords for a living for the police department. You could share this pot file with all the other police departments out there, and they literally have them already broken.
Is there a reason they put it in the file?
It's not that it's hidden, it's just not a normally viewable. They don't want people to screw with it. I mean, they tell you where it's at. I mean, it literally, in the instruction says it's under .john. It's not really hidden. Like if I'm here, if I do ls, I can't see it, okay? But if I do ls minus la, it shows up right here. It's not on the Linux system. It's in Windows, it just puts it in the John directory. It kind of puts it in a subdirectory below your root. That way, if she's running it, or she's running it, or he's running it, we each can have our own separate ones. That way, it's not going to overwrite everybody else. Okay. And maybe you want a different one. But you can very easily share these with someone. Okay? So
how would you share it?
I would take that John pot and mail it. And then I can edit it with a text editor and add mine to yours.
Can you run multiple jobs at the same time?
Sure. You could actually bring up 2 terminal windows and run John twice. You can bring up 5 machines. That doesn't matter. And there's actually a distributor version of John too, called Jumbo. But it's actually installed on here even. But you know, we're not going to cover that in here. So let's go back to where we were at. Now I can also do this. I can actually type John -- show. Darn it. Hold on. What's the command for showing? -- show. Displays the password that has been broken. Show me the passwords. John's there. It should be show. Show passwords cracked. John. Oh, password file required. Duh. There it is. I had to specify the password file. Okay, my bad. So you can view it by showing the show command and see which ones it's already broken. Okay, but it's not going to show you the hash right here. It's going to show you password 19 is roommate, which is fine because that's all you really need for the assignment. Okay. Now, if you want to delete it, what you can do del, or actually it's rm. I have to go down to the directory, .john, . That says remove a file, down a directory, into the .john directory and delete john.pot. What? Oh, hold on. Get down our directory. There we go. Now it's gone. Now if I do show, it's going to be like, we ain't got nothing. So now if I run the whole thing again, you'll see it'll break it again. Okay? It broke it perfect. I see that? Okay. And if you want to delete it again, just go over there and delete it. Okay. Now, you all saw how to break them. For the rest of the demo, I'm going to just use --std out so we can just see it on the screen. That way we don't have to worry about breaking passwords. So I'm not going to do all your homework for you, unless you got password 19. Okay. So we saw that one rule replaced nothing. Why didn't it replace anything?
Can you use John to use brute force attacks against passwords, or is it just dictionary attacks?
You can, we're kind of doing a brute force, but we're not doing every combination. But you could make a substitution rule, replace an A with a B and an A with a C, but that would be a terrible long rule to write. But yes, you could write your own.
So is that a rule we need to write?
No. But I thought a minute ago it changed out the F with a D, didn't it? What happened? It's still there. Because what it did was, it did that D with an F, then an A with an N, and then the last one it did was an L with an I. So look for an L.
Yeah, client right there.
DVIO, yeah, whatever. And clients is now CII. So it actually does every rule. Okay? Everybody see that?
But only the last rule is the one that shows up though?
Well, they're all there. You just got to scroll back
Yeah,
up. There's like, there's 7,000 words. If you look at the bottom here, and if you look here at the bottom, right here at the bottom, okay, it did 418,000 of them. Yeah, it's very fast. I mean, substitution's not much. So it does it very, very quickly. Okay, so that's the substitution. Everybody understand how substitution works? Now let's do it with just that one again, and it should just basically, now there's 126 compared to 418,000. Okay, so that's the substitution rule. So we could, now there's one thing we didn't do. Let me show you another substitution rule you could do. What if I want to replace, okay, an E, okay, maybe I want to replace an E with a 3, but I also want to replace it with a capital E. What do you think?
Just S, capital E. Yeah, just capital E.
Actually, you have to put them in square brackets.
Oh, it's a list.
So now it says replace E with a 3, and then replace E with a capital E. Okay. So now if I run this again, so the last one it did was the E with a capital E. Okay, everybody see that? Now, we could as well say, okay, I want to replace an E with that. I also want to replace an L with an I. All on the same line. So it's going to replace an E with a 3 and an L with an I to the whole list. And then an E with a capital E and an L with an I through the whole list. So if I run this, the last one we should get was the L with an I and the E with a capital E. Everybody see that? So what I did was a double substitution. And you might need that. Okay?
So, like, you can do, like, roommate with the...
You could do the
3.
right, you could do the O with a 0 and the E with a 3. Yes, you could. Yes. Very good. Okay. Everybody see how we added 2 rules together there? And you could go as long as you want. I'm going to tell you up front, all my substitutions make somewhat sense. Here's what you're not going to do. Someone does this every time. And they do this, they do the whole stinking alphabet, and they're over here, and it's like, imagine that doing, the whole thing. It takes forever. Okay. remember, we're just showing them on the screen. We're not doing any comparisons with the password file or anything. Okay, you can see how that's not a good plan. Okay.
It's a bad idea.
Yeah, don't do that. I use normal ones, and I'll show you a website here in a minute to see kind of an example of what I used. Not an all-inclusive example, but somewhere. Okay, let's look at the next type of rule. Insertion. Now I'm going to insert a 1, insert at position 1 an R. 1, I, 1, R. Okay, let's try that. So we're going to go in here. We're going to say insert at position 1 an R. Okay, so what's going to happen to clients? CRLINTS, because it starts at 0. The C is position 0. So if I run this, I'm going to get clients, but with an R between the C and the L. Rural Alliance. Everybody see that? Starts at 0. So if I want to play something at the beginning and I was append, I can actually use the append command or put a 0 there and put it at the beginning. Okay. All right. Everybody okay with that? Pretty easy to do. What happens? Yeah, I've never tried this. What happens? Let's see, if I say put it at position 9. Oh. No, I forget my numlock's not on. Okay, so clients 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 letters long. Let's see how this one works out for me. Puts it at the end. So if the word's shorter than that, just sticks it at the end. See, because client is a lot shorter than 9, it stuck it at the end. But if it's longer than 9, you need to notice these here, the R is all lined up at position 9. Are we okay with that? Okay, next one. Overstrike. I want to take overstrike, whatever's in position 0 with an F. Okay, so now we're going to overstrike position 0 with an F. So what's going to happen to clients? Alliance.
I love it. Everything's just an F.
Everybody see that? So what if I wanted to replace at position 1? Now we'd get C Alliance. I mean, can you pronounce these words? Basically, the second character go. Well, did I not save that? Keep forgetting my numlock's not on. Come on. Are we okay? All right. Now rejection. Okay, let's talk about rejection. In the past, I used this. I'm not using it as much as I did before. Okay. So this is reject a word that contains character X. So in this example, it says reject every word with a D, and that's the class. Okay. So let's look at, we don't have anything with a number in it. So reject the word if it contains character X. Let's just try that one. Okay, so we got clients at the bottom, okay? So let's do reject a C. Sound good?
Yes. Sounds good.
So what should happen to clients?
Should be gone.
Clients should be gone now. Gone. Now, I say capital Z, so the rest are there. Now, you could do character classes. See, if you put the question mark in a D, that means all things with a decimal number. If you did it with a question mark C, that means all uppercase letters. And how can we find this stuff? Maybe I'm not explaining all this to you, so you want to learn more. John the Ripper rules. Oh, there's like this massive list of all the rules you can use. Okay, so maybe I want to find the reject rule. There it is. This is matches. Oh, that's punctuation. See, here's character classes. So V is vowels, C is consonants. Okay. W is white space, P is punctuation, S is symbols. So you can just go crazy. You could do the explanation question D, and I'll get rid of every word with a number in it. Okay, so everybody see how that works? So let's do it with a Z. Basically, it should get rid of all words, shouldn't it? Pretty much. So let's do it with an explanation, question mark, Z. I've never done this demo, so I don't know what's going to happen. My entire dictionary is missing because the dictionary is all words. Okay, make sense? Everybody see how that works? Okay.
What would be a scenario you would use it?
Maybe in the past, I had a dictionary listing that only uppercase, had all lowercase, but a couple uppercase. That way, you only want to use certain ones. I mean, that's what I used it for. I mean,
It'd be something to put in your breaker if somebody else has access to it, so you know that they can't break nothing with that.
or yeah, you can also look if I happen to be watching you type and I didn't see exactly what you typed, but I know you didn't use a number, so I could reject all numbers, stuff like that. Yeah. So or I've seen a lot of people in the past where there's just numbers. So if I see you walk up to the keyboard and you just use the number pad only, get rid of all the Z's. Do the Z. Now your password's all numbers. So
It's just a way to speed things up.
right. It just helps you skip some things. Okay, let's go back.
Guy from National Treasure was used for the invisible ink.
Yeah, we could do that. All right, let's continue on. Okay, append and prefix. Let's append. We're going to put a $sign. What do we want to append? An @ sign. We're going to append an @ sign. Isn't that special? Now we're going to put it at the beginning. And that is number 6, or capital 6.
Fantastic. I like that.
So what if I want to do both?
Bracket them.
I could do this. Now it should get both in the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So that's append and prefix. Delete. Maybe I want to delete. Let's see down here. We are going to delete a number. Let's D0. Let's see. Now we're going to get rid of this. We're going to do D0. So we should be getting rid of the first character of each. Should be. Yep, now we got alliance and ethnical and substantive, whatever. Okay, I could also delete at a specific position, I think. Yep, I can. So maybe I want to delete at the 3rd position. So the 0, I'm going to do, so 3rd position would be what number? 2, good job. Starts with 0. Now, clients is clients, because we deleted the I, okay? We could also do it with a slash like they have here, and it deletes the last character. See right there? Slash that thingy. I should have put that in there. I didn't do that. That might be a good one next time. Oops. All right. That square thingy. So now we got rid of the last letter of each. So what happens if I do that one? Is it going to get rid of the first letter of each? Let's find out. Sure enough, gets rid of the first letter of each. So, pretty easy stuff there. Okay, pluralize. Might want to use this one. Just saying. Okay, pluralize. Let's pluralize some stuff. Well, why don't we look? How about we let it tell us? Clients, technicals. Now let's find a word that ends in an S. Mischievous. It adds an ES. Might want to know this for something in about 2 weeks. This massive quiz you need to take in like 2 weeks. If you know what I mean. sometimes called a midterm. All right. So let's look on now what a capital I does. You like that capital I? See? Okay, so let's put a capital I. Now we got cliencing, rewriting. So it literally puts ing at the end of everything, even if it doesn't make a word anymore. Cliencing. Okay. Now, if I was to ask you something, maybe I give you the word clients on a test or something, and say, what would a capital I do to it? Could you figure out what it does to it? Yeah. Go into John the Ripper. Because I'm telling you, you're going to do this. I'm going to give you a word. I'm going to say, what happens when I give this rule? So you're going to have to know how. So what would happen if I said, you just got to tell me the answer.
Okay.
What are we getting?
2S.
You're getting an ing at the second position, or the third position.
We appended a 2. Remember the dollar sign's append. We appended a 2, and then we inged it. Everybody see that?
Then we inked it.
We inged it. So I'm going to tell you, I am going to give you something on a test. It's not this here. But it's going to say, what happens if you take the word client and give it $2I? Capital I. And you're going to be, it'll be client doing. Client's doing.
They're not going to see 2 levels and 2 I.
But just so you know, when you take my test, you can have this up and running. You can have John the Ripper up and running. You can have all these different programs ready. So you can do it, okay? Because I'm telling you, that's the #1 missed question on the test.
Really?
Yes.
Do you beat it like this normally?
I'm just tired of everybody getting it wrong.
Okay.
It's like, seriously? I give you the exact rule. I says, here's the rule, here's the word. So all you would have to do is you'd have to make a Word file, you know, and put client in it. And then go over here and put in the rule, and then you're, it says, I'd say,
Or go to that website you just showed us.
yeah, but that's only pre-computed hashes. You know, you wouldn't know what the hash would be for that.
Right, but you're saying it has the rules, right? On that website.
No, it doesn't. It just says the word Roy became this hash.
No, I'm talking about the one where you went and got all the rules.
Oh, the rules, right. But then you're going to have to look it up. Okay, so $2 is probably quicker just to put it in here.
Probably, but if you want, I mean,
So I'll tell you, making this stuff, I just put the rules in and I ran it through John. That's the password. Okay, that's what I'm using. Because that way you know for sure what it is.
So he's gonna give us like 10 minutes for 20 questions.
10 minutes,
I'll tell you what.
2 minutes. No, just kidding.
Beautiful.
So what am I going to get now? I've never tried this. I don't even know what this is going to do. Let's find out. It's going to ing it, then put a 2 and ing it again? Maybe? Yes, it did.
yeah, we're double inking it. Double.
Okay.
Double
So
A,
put the ing first because I had that rule first. So we inged it. There's the inging it. Then we put the 2 at the end. So what if we did this?
The beginning.
Come on, what is it going to be?
You have one at the end and one at the beginning. And there are 2 at the end.
I'm waiting for the correct answer. Come on, what's it going to do?
Okay, so you got an
ING at the end.
Oh, it's gonna ing it at the end. It's gonna put 2 ing at the beginning.
Okay, what's the I going to do
ING at the end.
at the end? What's the caret 2 going to do?
Insert.
2 at the beginning.
Right.
Then what's the other I going to do?
At the end.
So it's going to be 2 clienting. As it should be. I'm guessing. Let's find out. I might be wrong. Yes, I was wrong. Damn it, it didn't do that. It only inged it once.
It's because you had to.
It probably ignored it. See, watch. I bet it still does the same thing. Let's find out. It probably said, dude, you already got an ing. You can't have 2.
You can't ink it.
Yeah, because there's an ing there.
Well, what about the caret 2?
Do you think maybe it ran a list with it just ING?
No, it shouldn't have. Shouldn't have. Let's see if this one will give me 2 ings. It's probably going to say, no, you can't have that. No, it won't give you two. That's what it is. It's like you can only have one ing.
You can't do almost.
You're being greedy.
But what if we did an ing and then a plural and an ing? I don't know. I'm just coming up with some stupid stuff here. But the point is we can test this so easily. Now we have an ing, then an s, then an ing. Everybody okay with this?
Insert a W there.
All right. So my point is, it's very easy to see what it's doing. If I give you the rule, put it in. Okay.
Do not miss that question.
Okay. That's all the ones I have. Now let's talk about your assignment. Okay. Here's your assignment. We're going to start at the top. Now this assignment is the current assignment for spring 2017. It might change for other semesters. So if you're watching this later on, know that. Okay, to understand how to use John the Ripper and create rules to crack passwords. Okay, you've been asked to verify some passwords by your organization, develop the rules, and retrieve the passwords. You know, it's kind of funny because way back in mid-90s to late 90s, I worked in the network shop at Tinker. And what they would do was they would break all the passwords of everybody on base, print them all out, highlight the bad ones, put in an envelope, and send them to every commander through distribution. And he'd walk around and says, you know, Sandra, your password is cat, and you can fix that. Wendy, your password is frog, fix that. Seriously, that was the stupidest thing in the world. That's what they used to do.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
That's bad. I mean, they would literally highlight all the bad ones, so the commander's walking around the entire list of every password for everybody.
And he just happened to accidentally leave that on the counter.
I know, it's like crazy. But, yeah.
What happens?
I just couldn't believe that. I'm like, are you kidding me? Okay. Everybody do it yourself. This is random, so there's 221 passwords. You're going to break 26 of them. So, all right. This statement right here took me a long time to write. Okay. Basically says the amount of help received is exponentially correlated to when request for help is made. Expecting to complete this assignment when starting during the second week will adversely affect your grade as you won't be able to complete it. Okay. I literally had 2 students contact me today just starting the assignment. It's like, seriously? There's no way. I realize some of you probably got done somewhat quick. By the way, I don't think anyone's in here. Okay, it's me. Shh, it's not Ethan. Jeez, don't talk about Ethan like that. But no. But the point is, you know, this project's going to take a while because you're going to generate the rules. The thing is here, you generate your rules and let it run. Come back 2 hours later. Check on it tomorrow morning or whatever. Okay. So come up with some good rules in there because you can actually, you know, which I didn't show you this. You can have, you know, you can have we can try pluralize, and we're going to try an ing in it, and we're going to prepend a 2, and whatever, okay? So you can put all your rules, save it, and let it run. And it's going to tell you when, 2 hours later, when it broke. Yes.
I forgot, is it a comma when you have 2 rules on top? Because from what I remember, it only tests each of those rules individually. How do we have?
These are individual rules. It's going to pluralize every word. Check them all. Then it's going to ing every word. So the pluralize is the S. So it's going to add an S with every word. Check all those. Then it's going to add an ing with every word. Check all those. Then it's going to prepend. If you want to put more on one, that's when you put, you know, that, and we want to substitute an A with an at.
So it's just a space. There's no comma there.
Right, just a space.
So earlier you used brackets, so where's that?
That's if you're going to do more than one. I want to place an A with an at or a 4. So that's going to put a 2 at the beginning and replace an A with an at. Then it's going to put a 2 at the beginning, replace an A with a 4.
So, like we're saying, the L's, you can just do a big list for the L's. Like the 1, the capital I, the lowercase I.
You can, yes. Right. If you did an L,
Like when we were spouting out the things.
right, you could have done them all at once. You could have done an I, a capital I, a pipe symbol, or whatever. I mean, but you make this rule and you hit save. and then you go over here and you run it against, instead of standard output, you're going to put your password file list there. Then you can hit enter, and it's going to run it. And it's going to come back when it's done. Now, my password file only has one password. This is going to be done in a second. But you guys are going to have 26. So it could take a while. Okay? All right. So,
But how, I mean, like, what if the password is plural but no ing? Or how do you put it? You put plural first or ing first? How do you do it?
the P,
What if it's ing but not, what if it's just ing and no plural?
the first thing it's going to do is add an S for every word. Then it's going to go through the list again and add an ing. That's all. It's they're on separate lines.
What it means by that is we'll take the original list and then
No,
run
the
it.
original list.
Okay.
It's not going to add an S and then add an ing and then do
You
this.
only do that
Do
if
it?
you only do that if you
Put it.
If you put them on the same line like that. Okay? All right. So start early. Okay? Don't expect a lot of help if you start contacting me in a week and a half. No.
Oh, that's right. It's 2 weeks. Right.
You got 2 weeks for this one. There's a reason. Trust me, I made these. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, John the Ripper, here's the command syntax. So, John dash that word list equals words that text rules. And this would be where you put the file, the password hash. Mine's called passwd. This one's called pass hash. Call whatever you want to call it. Call it potato for all I care. Okay. Here it is again. This time it's going to show the output on the screen. Okay. Some additional switches are needed for a few of the passwords. It's up to you to figure out what they are. So this alone, assuming you have all the right rules, this alone won't do it. There's one grouping of passwords that will not break, and then there's possibly another one. Okay? So you just play with it. Just play all the different stuff. And believe it or not, the program tells you what it needs. When you run the program, it'll tell you, hey, I need this. So read the output it's giving you and try to figure out how to do it. Okay? John on Windows will not break all the passwords. I mentioned that before. It'll break most, all but this one section. Obviously, word list is the word list to use. That's the one I put up there. Just save it in your thing. Rules specified which rules to use. That's in the word list mode. The password hash file, we know about that. And standard output puts it on the screen. Now, it says create a file to hold your password hashes. Call it something similar to password hash. Here's the rules that you may need. A single substitution. Replace an A with an A. That might get one. We know when O with a 0 got you one.
Right.
Double substitution. Maybe an A with an A and an E with a 3. So we're doing 2. Triple substitution. Maybe an A with an A and an E with 3 and a D with you're going to fail. No, okay. Toggle case. I didn't show you that one. It's not hard. Look in that rules file. Okay. Capitalize first character. I mean, all of these are in here. My toggle case right here. T. It's really not hard to figure out. Toggle case, if it's uppercase, it makes it lowercase. If it's lowercase, it makes it uppercase. Let's just try that one. Let's put a T in there so we can see what it does.
And what do you mean by toggle? Like
We're fixing to show you.
First letter, second letter.
Clients had a capital C and everything else was lower. It switched. So you need that on something, possibly.
Oh boy.
All right. Lowercase vowels. There's a rule that makes all vowels lowercase. Duplicate. There's a rule to take the word dog and make dog dog. Reflect. Let's look at reflect. Where's reflect? Reflect. So there's reverse. Same thing. Reverse reflect. Actually, no. Yeah, it's F. So let's do F and then R. We want to try both of them. Okay. We're going to do F. Let's see what F does to clients. It's clients and then clients backwards. Okay. Now let's do reverse. It's clients backwards, but not, double. Now it's clients backwards. See the difference between reverse and reflect? Okay. Pluralize, rotate. I didn't show you rotate. Find rotate. Rotate's very simple. A pen, pre-pen, we did those already. Lowercase, the first character, reverse, we did that one. Keyboard shift. Keyboard shift, have you guys, is there anyone here who types without looking at the keyboard? Some of us. Have you ever gone to sit down and type and your fingers are off by one? The new one, it's like, what the? That's keyboard shift. Maybe I put my letters one off to the left. You know, I had a guy when I was at Tinker, he would literally put his password right on a sticky note on his monitor. We could never get in, because what he did is he remapped the keyboard to Dvorak. So the keys weren't right. So even though you couldn't, and it was so funny, one day, I could type very fast, about 120 words at one point. So one day they all came in. I didn't realize they did this. They redid all the letters on my keyboard to alphabetical. A, B, C, D, E. So they did it. And I came in the office. I'm over there just typing away. And they're all peeking around the corner at me because I was the guy in charge at that point. And they keep looking at me one after another. I'm like, what the heck is going on? And they're like, seriously? And I'm like, what? Let's look at your keyboard. I'm like, oh, that's cool. But I don't look at the keyboard. I mean, the only thing I look at is numbers at the top. I don't look at numbers on the right. So, say also delete a character. So those are the ones you possibly need. You might need other ones. Now, combinations rules are required for some. Single letters are only replaced with single letters. In other words, I'm not going to replace a W with two V's. Understand that? So I'm not going to say substitute a W for VV. I'm not doing that. Okay? I'm not going to replace, like, let's see, an H with a T. I don't know, whatever. I'm not doing that. Okay? Single letters with single letters. Okay. So no single letter will be replaced with multiple. Example, an R could be replaced with a T, but a W could not be replaced with a VV. Enter your words in the John config file under this section. Okay? Now, you saw how I went and comment all the rest of mine out. That's going to make your rules run much faster because it's only going to run your rules and be done. If you don't comment all that stuff out, and for every rule, it's going to run your rule, then all the other 25 rules. So you can see how it's going to make it exponentially slower. Let me show you again. Let's go back in here. In the John config file, you're going to find this section. I literally show it to you right there. It's right here. It's at approximately line 611. Okay? Approximately.
Oh, so you have to comment that out.
No. Comment these out.
All those, yes.
See these? Comment out all the way to right there. Right up to this line here. The reason is,
Run them all by themselves first.
okay,
Right.
because if you don't, what's happening is, so it's going to take the dictionary and try R. Then it's going to take the dictionary and try this one. And then this one. So instead of running one rule, it's running 1, now 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This will be 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. A lot. Okay. So instead of running through the dictionary with just your rule, I mean, if you want to run it one time just to see what it does, that's fine. But then comment them out. It makes it go so much quicker. That's why mine is like instant. Okay. I know some of you aren't going to do that. You're like, I've been working for 2 weeks. I only got 3 words. I'm just telling you. You know what's going to happen.
Wow. You said that to her or something?
No, it's-
Not how I sound.
No. That's our email sound.
That's, oh, I read it in my head.
Okay. So submit the program under quizzes. So go to the quiz. All tools you needed to complete this lab are pre-installed on Kali, not Kali Lite. John the Ripper does not have it. Now you can use Kali Lite and put John the Ripper on. Just use apt-get. It's not hard. Just go Kali apt-get and it'll tell you how to do it. You can literally download Kali. It takes like a minute. I mean, in Kali you can download John the Ripper in about a minute. Yeah, it's like apt-get. You do apt-get update what's available, then apt-get John, I think it is. And it just puts it on, and then you're done. So you could do that. But if you download the regular version of Kali and put it on there, you can use that for all your classes.
Question. No, on question.
I have a chat.
Yeah, on chat.
Why doesn't it come up when some?
Okay.
Okay. Are there any special characters? No, I did not use any special characters. Good question, by the way.
So we're not using the pound.
Oh, I'm not saying that. Like the pipe symbol is a special character. But, right, it's just keyboard characters.
Right.
Now, I'm not using ASCII characters. Like Alt 255 is a space. You all know that, don't
No
you?
like smiley faces.
Right, I'm not using.
No wingding.
I tell you, in the past, I actually had this stuff on here.
Oh, that was horrifying.
I had that in here. Actually, one of your assignments, I do that. I put in there, it says, mailbox and smiley face. And so I was like, I've been trying to type a mailbox all day long. How do you know? Okay, don't worry about it. Okay. So no special characters. All right. Submit them in the quizzes area. All tools are there. Like I said, you can download it from Kelly, or I was nice enough and actually downloaded it and put it in there for you. That way it's already pre-built. Because to get the VMware image, you need to torrent it. Some of you are probably like, huh?
Yeah.
So I download the torrent.
This guy here's
And- Yeah, that's why I downloaded it for you, because I knew it. Because I was like, how many of them don't even have a clue what a torrent is?
well, okay.
Normally, a torrent is used to download illegal song.
Yes.
But it's not illegal to use it for this.
Well, technically, isn't John the Ripper still technically illegal?
No. Totally illegal. But what you can do with it is illegal.
Yes.
That's the problem.
You need it in case.
Okay, I can go to the store and buy a gun. Totally illegal, but I can use that gun to kill someone illegal. Same difference. How you use it. Exactly.
Or if you got that,
Okay.
ransomware.
Right. Now let's click on this link right here. Leet Speak. This gives you a general idea. Where's it at?
Oh, get that garbage out.
Where'd it go? It's not on here? Seriously? Where's the examples? Leet Speak. It should give us a character.
Leet Speak is basically.
You know, it's gonna 4chan. I'll be to find it.
No.
It used to be right here. Well, read this article. Leet Speak is like an L could be with a 1, an E could be with a 3, a T could be with a 7. It used to be on here, but I guess they changed it. Because it showed the most common ones. Well, it's not on there anymore. Let's try this. Leet Speak example.
Oh, no.
Okay. That's the one we just saw. Okay, that was it. No, it's not going to be bad. That's the same one again. I like clicking it 3 times. That one's probably not a good one.
List.
What does Leet Speak? There we go.
Yeah, perfect.
See, the problem with this, I'll tell you right now, every time I show something on people like, but I see a W with the this and the that. And the, no, I'm not doing that one.
That's what you can get rid of.
Like an M with a pipe, a V. No, I'm not doing that. An M would not be replacing that because that's 3 for 1.
Yes.
Right, A with a 4, but still an A with an at is valid. Why isn't that listed? So, but don't sit there and do the entire alphabet either. That's stupid.
Yeah, you're not switching.
Okay, submit your answers on the quizzes. Here's what the questions look like. What is the password for pass 1? So for pass 19, you put in roommate with an O, I guess.
2 zeros.
Okay, the passes are listed below. Your individual quiz is random, so you need to open up your own quiz to see which words you get. Each of you have a different password list to break only the ones that pertain to you. Here's all the hashes.
Everyone's already opening up their laptops.
Okay, they're all there. All 221, and I personally verified every 221 of these worked this time. And this last one, extra credit worth 25%.
Wait, which one is it? The past EC?
Yeah. So the very last question on the quiz, there's a little. Oh, and actually, let me show you the quiz.
Right now? No, you're not.
Let me show you the quiz. So I know someone's gonna say, "But what about this?" Okay, here's what the quiz actually looks like. Again, this is all random. So there you go. Password 12 and 5 and 19 and 8 and so on and so forth. You keep down here and you get 4 passwords, 182 through 191. Only use these dictionary words. So in other words, don't use your huge 7,000 word dictionary. It would take you too long. So that means that password is something special. It's probably multiple rules or multiple substitutions or something. Okay?
So my question, I guess my question here then is, I have a question I just looked at. Oh, no, on password 185, that's not the word in the dictionary. That's not the
Password 185 is right there. That guy right there.
Hey, guys, copy and paste it.
You copy this whole line right here,
Okay.
and you put it inside of your PassWD file. And by the way, you can actually copy and paste straight into John the Ripper, which is very nice. You can go in here and you could paste it right there. Done. You can copy and paste back and forth beautifully in here. Okay, so there you go. Now I got 185 in there. So you can do that. But so for passwords numbered 182 through 191, you could use the entire dictionary if you'd like. But this will make it shorter. So whenever you see this, that means that's probably
The best I.
yeah, and if you look here, it's worth 11 points.
So you're saying for question 25, just use those words.
Right. For passwords 1 and 2, so that's 185. Then for passwords 192 through 211, so prior to starting the next two passwords, I recommend only using these words. They're slightly different. It's too late. I didn't feel like redoing them, so we're the same. So for 26 and 27, both of those, you're using this dictionary. Again, you can use your entire dictionary, but it'll make it quicker if you don't. Then for questions 221 through or 212 through 221, use this dictionary, and that's worth 6 points. Then the final question is extra credit, and it's not required. It is worth 25% if you solved it. Okay? Pretty simple. Just put in the passwords there, and they're going to all work perfectly this year. We're hoping. I literally tested these so many times.
10 minutes later.
Okay. So, any questions on anything?
Yeah, on that last word for roommate, whenever you had it, it ended up being 2 zeros instead of O's. How would you know if it was actually a double substitution and it was actually supposed to be 2 O's, not zeros? Would it check it and tell which one was right?
Yeah, well, okay, and he asked a good question. For instance, maybe with roommate, I'm not doing it this year, by the way, but say with roommate, I only wanted to replace the first O with an uppercase and the second one with a 0. That's very difficult to do. That's why I'm not making y'all do it. You'd actually have to do an insert or a replace it at a specific position. So that would be very hard to do.
Well, I just meant like if you were checking the password and after you did your first substitution, it came through and the password was just roommate and both zeros were zeros, not O's.
Right.
Would it tell you if that password was correct? Or if the actual password was supposed to be O's and not zeros instead?
Okay, if it comes up and shows you past 19 is roommate with 0, just copy and paste that. I don't recommend typing what you see because you're going to screw it up. I mean, think of it. An I and an L, yeah, those are typed wrong. So when it showed roommate,
Copy and paste that to the quizzes.
copy roommate and go to paste password 19 and put it right in there. Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because don't try to type them. That's why for all this, I copied and pasted most of it. Oh, we're hoping to get all of them correct. Okay. So, oh man, we're out of time. Okay. That's it. We're done. Get out of here. Go have fun with my awesome program.
2 weeks.
Do we still have a class next Tuesday?
No class next Tuesday. You're going to be working on this. If you would like me to do more demos of this Monday during the Cyber Club, we could. You need to let me know, though.
So basically, what he's saying is show up to Cyber Club and give your answers.
All right. I am. Wait. So for the extra credit, the same rules apply. Yes. Now, the rules, I will tell you, there's many rules. Yes. It's not like replace an A with an A. It's like replace an A with an A and an E with a 3. And reverse it all, and an ing, replace the third character with a D, and delete the 15th character.
It sounds like I'm not getting 25.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. No, there's not actually. There's not a maximum.
I am going home.
All right, I'm going to stop this, Matt, so I can save.